special Good at Heart Festival edition of the Black News Beat. We are here with my first guest, Mr. Burrell. How are you?
I am well. I am very well, Kimeka.
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
As always.
Thank you.
I hear you're real busy planning some things.
Yes, a little bit
busy. Right.
Busy.
And we're here to talk to you about the totality of your work tonight, everything that you do, and how you see yourself in the social justice scene in the South Central Pennsylvania region. So first, tell us about you. Who is Kevin Burrell?
Wow. Who am I? I'm a 23-year resident of Harrisburg.
Wow.
I have grown to love the life I've built here in the city, though I'm very quick to say I'm not from here. I'm originally a Pittsburgher and always will be a Pittsburgher.
Nice.
But I really have grown to love the life I've built here. Just the connections I've made with a small thing that I'm working on right now, the connections I've made in the city, the people I've met that are doing some really cool work. I just really am filled up by pulling these new threads together, making connections. And it's new to me. It may not be new to other folk who've been here all their lives, but it's new to me, and I'm just really excited by it.
So when did you come to the area?
I came in 2000. In July 2000, I just finished graduate school, and I was a Pennsylvania management intern. And I started and just concluded a 21-year career with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
I was in the Department of Human Services, specifically the Office of Developmental Programs, where we support individuals with autism and intellectual disabilities.
Wow. So you said a phrase that I often say, which is you love the life you built here. That is something I often say about Basir and I's life that we built here. So tell me more about that. What kind of life have you built here?
Well, the center of my life has to be my faith. I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I make no bones of that, and that empowers me to push and to do and work towards justice. So my faith community is really important. It took a while to find the faith community that works for me. I'm a ruling elder at Market Square Presbyterian Church.
You are a what?
A ruling elder.
A ruling elder?
Yes.
That sounds very fancy. Tell us about that.
A ruling elder. It's in the Reformed tradition, the community.
Do you have a staff?
I do not have a staff.
A ride in the staff?
No.
Okay, all right. Okay.
All that means is that we make the decisions for the church. It's the Reformed tradition, so the community.
So the Market Square Presbyterian comes out of the Reformed tradition?
Yes, it comes out of the Reformed tradition, and in the Reformed tradition, the community makes decisions about the church, not the pastor. That's the tradition I grew up in, and I was raised in the African American Baptist tradition, and I'm used to writing to the pastor, we'll fix this and make them stop doing this, and so on and so forth. And my then pastor, he's since retired, he explained that this is the Reformed tradition. The community decides, and now I'm part of that decision-making council. I'm a ruling elder.
Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes. It's really good stuff. It's really, really good stuff.
How long have you been a ruling elder?
I've been a ruling elder maybe a year and a half. So I'm just really very much feeling myself.
Yeah. Period. Absolutely.
Yes.
I love that for you.
Yes. So that's really central and important to me. I believe in motivating this predominantly Caucasian church, white church, to leaning into this comfort of racial justice. And I have my own discomfort. I have my comfort zone. But together, we need to lean into stuff that makes us uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Because that's how justice happens.
So what's happening? What's making us uncomfortable?
Well. We got Black Lives Matter painted on my church steps.
I saw that.
Yeah, we're all happy about that.
We've been taking pictures with it and stuff.
Yes, that's
great photo op.
It is. It's a great photo op.
Great photo op.
And we lean into we're happy about those kinds of things. But how do you do the work of partnering with folk? Partnering with the folk that are different than you, that think differently than you, to use the resources we're blessed with to make real change.
Yeah.
What does that feel like? What does that look like? I co-chair the anti-racism committee at my church. And that is beyond, for me, just reading books. We're very big on reading books.
Yes, we are.
As a church, I'll put my
Not
folk.
just a church, as a region. We're like, what other book can we read about racial justice.
Exactly. Versus having the difficult conversation. And these I say to my white congregants. And I'm there every Sunday morning, sitting shoulder to shoulder with them. I did a training, a multi-week training on difficult conversations about race, where you are equipped to have conversations with your neighbors, conversations that I can never, as a person of color, participate in.
Absolutely.
Only you can have those conversations. So let me give you the tools to do that. Let me provide the support. How can we lift each other up as you do that difficult work? So those are the kinds of things that we...
There's not a lot of spaces in the region that are doing that and really confronting particularly dominant culture, aka white people, where they are with having those difficult conversations and stepping out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
So how has that been?
It has been not easy because the work is hard and not comfortable. You have shared a fence with this neighbor in Camp Hill for decades. You've watched each other's children. You've gone on vacation together. I have a joke, Hortense and Blanche, not to put on women, that's sexist of me. Neighbors have shared tools. Bob and Mike have shared tools back and forth. But then Mike hears Bob have some difficulty with the multicultural center that's renting space down the block, or is considering getting space down the block. Mike is a member of Market Square. How does Mike respond to Bob? It may end up with Bob's tools left summarily on the porch with no note, no nothing. We need to support each other in, number one, having the conversation, and number two, the result of that difficult conversation, of that strained relationship that may come back in time. For me, as a Christian, we are held up by the good news of Jesus Christ to support us in that difficulty, and we can't shirk away from that. I get weary, I get annoyed when folk step away from that responsibility, because it's not just about Sunday morning listening to organs. That's what we have in Market Square in Oregon, or other churches have praise and worship music. It's more than that. It is that difficult lean. I feel that we need to do that difficult lean.
Absolutely.
And that's what I hope to be part of, that difficult lean.
Yes, so, I'm asking, and I'll ask you guys this later on the panel as well, but, so Anne Frank believed in, even with her fate, she still believed that people were good at heart. How do you believe, how do you have hope in the face of death? Certain death.
That is hard. I am buoyed up by the surprising goodness of my fellow congregants, of the good work that I see happening. That gives me hope, that I know that there is good available, that it can come forth. By the good things I do see, by the surprises, by the individuals who step up, even when it's not very comfortable.
And death can look like a lot of things for people. Death can look like the dying of relationships when you speak out. It can look like the loss of a job, the loss of monetary access to money and resources. So death can look different. There's physical death, but then you could be very much living and feel like you're being cut off from a lot.
Yes. That makes me think of the importance of community, and to know that people are around you and there for you, to tell you hard truths, but that they are there, that they haven't disappeared. No matter how rough that road is in the moment, they are still there to buoy you up.
Absolutely.
As that thing ends.
Absolutely. So, moving on to a little bit of a lighter, maybe more joyous topic. So I hear that you're doing some community work right now with one Young Professionals of Color.
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us about that?
Oh, I am so excited, so buoyed up by this. We are looking to do an exploration of African American history in South Central PA. We hope to do a bus trip to Lancaster to visit places of African American history in Lancaster. We hope to, here in Harrisburg, have a walking tour of the old 8th Ward to learn about the rich culture and civic leaders that were birthed there. We hope to visit the Place for All exhibit, which is an installation, an ongoing installation at the State Library, the State Museum of Pennsylvania, which focuses on the integration of the Levittown communities, which were built by this huge developer in the 50s, biggest developer in the country at that time, but did not allow black people to live in these properties. But the one in Bucks County was integrated. So the exhibit is dedicated to that. The integration of, I believe, Gannett College in North Philadelphia, and the integration of, surprising to me, of the Highland Park Pool in Pittsburgh. Just different ways that integration happened, and the leaders that made it happen, how they made it happen. So that's going to be a very neat exhibit that we're looking forward to experiencing.
That's really exciting. And that's coming to the State Museum.
That's coming to that is at the State Museum.
At the State, okay.
State Museum, yeah. So that's going to be one
And what, pray tell, are you doing this bus trip for? What is it, conjunction?
Oh, it's conjunction of, just going, completely running to talk about the details, right in the weeds, that's what I do. It is in celebration of Juneteenth. It is in advance of Juneteenth. It's going to be happening in May. There will be a couple trips to Midland Cemetery, which is one of the two African-American cemeteries here in Dauphin. I think I'm right. Dauphin County, definitely one. Yeah, definitely Dauphin County. I'm assuming Stilton is still in Dauphin County, but it's not on the line. It's not.
Yeah, it's nice.
Excellent. It is just really cool, and there'll be very different experiences. In the Midland Cemetery, we'll get to experience African Black Stilton as it was before the flood. Macedonia African American Episcopal Church, which is still, I think, founded in the 1800s, still standing, still populated by black people. Very, very positive. In the Lincoln Cemetery, we will be able to do, those who are interested, restoration kinds of activities. It's going to be that will be a very rich opportunity. The last leg will, for those interested, will take folk to Lancaster, and they will visit the William C. Goodrich Center. William C. Goodrich was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. Wow. An entrepreneur, wealthiest African American of his time.
Wow.
Risked it all to support the flight to freedom for those seeking freedom from enslavement. Really positive. Yes. And a marvelous timeline of African American history at the York Historical Center. An exhibition, an installation by Ophelia Chambliss, I believe the sister's name.
Yes.
That will be part of that day. And there will be also a visit to historic Penn Market, populated by many black entrepreneurs.
Wow.
For folk to sample their wares.
This is going to be a really rich.
It's going to be amazing. There'll be an opportunity, I think, each week in May. That's what it's looking like in terms of the scheduling. It's going to be so exciting. I'm just so looking forward to it.
Job well done so far. You're doing an excellent job.
And it's just been rich for me, just to meet these people and know this amazing stuff is happening and available in Central Pennsylvania, in South Central PA.
Right here, and that's the whole point of the story.
Exactly.
Absolutely right.
I'm so glad to be a part of it.
So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for everything that you do. I like to give my guests their flowers by saying, without you, our landscape would be a little duller, a little less dynamic. And so I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so glad that I've gotten to meet you doing this work. I'm just so honored. So will you stick around for the panel?
I will, definitely.
All right. Mr. Kevin Burrell.